From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
We didn't need this for sure. We definitely didn't need this.
Waking up to water. How a leaking fire hydrant left a mess that a Billings neighborhood is still dealing with.
You got to take accountability, and that money goes somewhere.
A summer without pools. What Miles City officials are doing to cut costs and how parents are responding with frustration.
I'm Jonathan Ambarian at McDonald Pass. As Montana moves into wildfire season, some leaders are taking a serious look at restructuring how the federal government responds to fires. I'll have a closer look at the changes that are being talked about.
Those stories and much more coming up in the next hour. Good morning and welcome back to Montana This Morning on this Tuesday, May 27th. I'm Charlie Klepps here with Miller Robson.
Good morning, Charlie. Good morning, everyone. Little folks crawling back after the long holiday weekend, trying to get out of bed.
It's always a tough one. Those 3-day weekends are always tough.
Yeah, and the kids here in Billings, 4-day weekend. You know, they have that snow day on Friday. So, I'm sure they're having a good time waking up this morning.
They're spoiled.
They are
4-day weekend spoiled.
We'll have that bus stop forecast coming up in here in about 10 or 15 minutes. As we wake up this morning, it's not a bad start, but we do have some clouds on the way that could spit out some showers and thunderstorms later today into the evening. How did our Memorial Day wrap up? About 4 degrees above the norm with our high of 74, our low of 46. Pretty seasonal. Was a breezy day yesterday. Top gusts of 17 miles an hour. Was a dry day, but we're still ahead for the month and for the year here in Billings and Yellowstone County. We're in really good shape in terms of the drought situation out there. We do have a little bit of rain off to our northwest right now. Most of us won't see anything until we get into the afternoon. In the heat of the day, that's when those showers and thunderstorms will start to fire up. Not everybody will see it, but we'll kind of break it down for you as we go along this morning. Right now, we've got temperatures. It's a mild start. 40s and 50s. Here in Billings, we're sitting at a roasty, toasty 55 degrees. Winds out of the west at about 5 miles an hour. You can see the clouds lingering as we go along this morning. By lunchtime, we'll be around 70, mid-70s by the drive at 5. Our high today of 75, about 5 degrees above the norm. And then as we get into the afternoon, into the evening, that's when those showers and thunderstorms start to fire up. We'll take a look with that forecast coming up.
Awesome. Thanks, Miller. Appreciate it.
Morning, everybody.
We're tracking breaking news this morning. Billings police are investigating after a deadly crash on Airport Road along the rims. It's the second serious crash with deadly results along that road this month. Police say one person is dead and another seriously injured after a single vehicle crash west of the North 27th Street roundabout. It happened just after 10 o'clock last night. Police confirmed with us minutes ago that the westbound traffic on Airport Road is still closed from the roundabout to Stony Ridge Circle while the crash team investigates what happened. We'll continue to update you when the road reopens. Earlier this month, in an unrelated crash, 2 teenagers, sisters Alicia and Alexia Half, died in a one-vehicle crash on Airport Road east of the roundabout. 2 others were also hurt in that crash. A quiet Billings street transformed into a shallow lake overnight this week after a water break unleashed a flood of trouble for neighbors. Water crept across lawns, pooling in driveways and swamping the street, leaving residents to clean up yet again. As our Isabel Sparts reports, this isn't the first time, and frustrated homeowners worry it won't be the last.
This is what Cook Avenue looks like now after that flooding Sunday night. But residents here say it's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to their water problems.
You can see where all the mud is up here.
This isn't an unusual scene for Chelsea Lauer.
Yes, this is where we have a couple ducks every now and then.
Massive puddles of water in her front yard.
I have to wear boots to get to my mailbox. It's pretty bad.
The water usually arrives after a heavy rainstorm, but this time it was the aftermath of this.
Oh my gosh, it's on the other side too.
It's a lot of water. I mean, it was pouring. It looked like a river was coming through here.
She says late Sunday night, a fire hydrant on the street sprung a leak. But in an email to us, Public Works Director Debbie Melling says the hydrant leak didn't impact any homes.
After 10 years, it was a sizable amount of water. Cars were not underwater, but definitely up toward about the chassis in some places.
Neighbors disagree.
Well, the water can't go anywhere. There's nowhere for it to go, so it's just going to sit until it dries out from the sun.
It's kind of frustrating.
Next door, April Walker seemed to get the worst of it.
Within 15 minutes, I would say our whole front lawn was filled with water, and it was starting to go in the garage.
Flooding is a constant problem neighbors say they've been cleaning up for years, historically caused by a small hump in the road that drains right into their yards.
We call it Lake Cook. We've called the city multiple times. A few years ago, I talked to an engineer. They came out, and it actually made it worse.
On this end, the sidewalk ends right after our house as well as the street. So there's no drainage, there's no sidewalks, there's no water control at any way, shape, or form. So I think something needs to happen.
The city of Billings say crews will be on hand Tuesday to fix the issue. But according to residents like Lauer, it isn't enough.
We didn't need this for sure. We definitely didn't need this. It is just quite frustrating being a homeowner that has to deal with it on a constant basis.
In Billings, Isabel Sparts, MTN News.
Some Miles City pools may stay dry this summer. City leaders say there's no money in the budget to open them. It's the latest blow after overspending already forced cuts to police and fire. As our Andrea Lutz reports, parents say it's the kids who are paying the price, caught in a financial crisis they didn't create.
Last year we would spend 3, 4, sometimes 5 days a week. This big bowl up at the top.
Kenneth Sprague has warm memories of summer days at the pool with his kids.
My oldest likes the splash pad, but my 5-year-old just loves the little kid pool.
Hot afternoons spent cooling off until sunset.
We come out here for an hour, hour and a half till they close.
But Sprague didn't know those days were numbered.
If people have questions, you should be ready to be prepared to answer them truthfully and stick behind it.
Mayor Dwayne Andrews says the city's budget crisis has left no choice. Natural Oasis in the Frog Pond won't open this summer due to budget constraints and a massive leak, with some exceptions for the splash pad opening after May 30th.
You have to have a balanced budget. You can't spend money you don't have.
After slashing police and fire positions this fiscal year, the pool budget is the next cut, saving the city $70,000.
Anytime we came across a line item in the budget that wasn't absolutely necessary and would help us balance the budget, we had to cut it.
You got the button over there.
Still, Sprague says the real cost is falling on the community's youngest.
Where is the money that should have went here for this year for the pool? Where did it go? Why did we overspend? Where did we overspend?
Andrews blames years of overspending and overestimated revenues by past leadership.
And there were over expenditures every year. Every year.
With gates locked up now at the splash pad, Sprague worries next summer won't look much different.
There needs to be some more forward looking in this town and maybe have a plan, like a 5-year plan. That's what I don't see. I don't see the future planning.
He hopes this closure doesn't become the norm. In Miles City, Andrea Lutz, MTN News.
That splash pad will offer limited service, closed for maintenance through May 29th, and then reopening for the summer season on May 30th. That's according to a recent social media post by the city of Miles City. In national news out of Washington, President Donald Trump commemorated Memorial Day at Arlington National Cemetery yesterday, placing a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier. It's a somber annual Memorial Day tradition that honors the servicemen and women who paid the ultimate sacrifice to their country.
In every hour of peril and every moment of crisis, American warriors have left behind the blessings of home and family to answer their nation's call. They've offered all that they had within them and given their last breaths to each and every one of us that we might live safe and breathe free.
While the president honored Americans lost in battle, he's stepping up criticism of Russian President Vladimir Putin after Russia's largest aerial attack on Ukraine since the war began. It says while the countries are in the middle of talking, Putin is shooting rockets into Kiev and other cities. Ukrainian officials say more than a dozen people were killed after more than 350 drones struck Ukrainian cities. The Kremlin responded to Trump's comments saying there is, quote, emotional overload of everyone involved. Some companies are announcing expected price hikes with current tariffs. President Trump is imposing a 10% baseline tariff on most imports and a 30% tariff on most Chinese goods. That means you could start to see higher prices from Walmart, Best Buy, Ford, Subaru, and others. Over the last few months, all have indicated that prices could go up on some of their items. The Food and Drug Administration will now require COVID-19 vaccines from Pfizer and Moderna to come with new warning labels. The warning is for men from ages 16 to 25 about the risk of developing heart inflammation called myocarditis. The ailment has affected 38 men per million vaccinated in the newly indicated age group. As Montana moves into wildfire season, the federal government is looking at some possible dramatic changes to how they fight fires. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian has a look at one of the biggest reforms under consideration, creating a new agency to take over wildfire response.
Today, the U.S. Forest Service has the largest share of responsibility for fighting wildfires on federal lands, but it's just one of 5 agencies that divide those duties. Now, some leaders are talking seriously about consolidating all of those responsibilities under a single federal wildland fire service. It's an idea that has support from Montana U.S. Senator Tim Sheehy.
Right now, there's so much bureaucratic red tape that slows our ability not just to respond to the fires, but also to resource our wildland firefighters with the tools they need to do the job. By condensing all of this responsibility into one organization, we're going to provide the necessary support, funding, and tools for our brave wildland firefighters when they go out there to protect our communities.
Sheehy is a lead sponsor on a bipartisan bill calling for a single federal agency to handle fires, and the idea also appears in the Trump administration's budget proposals for next year. As of 2022, there were almost 19,000 federal firefighters, managers, and support staff. More than half were in the Forest Service, with the rest in the Bureau of Land Management, National Park Service, Fish and Wildlife Service, and Bureau of Indian Affairs. But Sheehy says leaders have already set up structures to coordinate between those agencies.
The difference is we just haven't taken the final steps to actually codify that into a dedicated organization that's ready year-round, 24/7, 365 to protect our communities, and that's what we're going to do now.
Luke Mayfield is president of Grassroots Wildland Firefighters, an organization advocating for improved pay and benefits for federal firefighters. They've supported consolidation since their founding in 2019.
It has the potential or the opportunity to create a modernized system that can hopefully be fluid, flexible, and foundationally built to last across administrations and not just for this current administration.
Mayfield hopes a single agency can have firefighters in leadership, work more efficiently, and improve conditions for the workforce. But he said there are still going to be a lot of details that need to be worked out.
You know, I've heard one example that the Department of Interior absorption of the Forest Service fire program is a bit like a minnow trying to swallow a salmon. That's a big lift. I don't think it's something that can't be done. We will have to take the time to do it right.
Sheehy, who ran an aerial firefighting company before running for Senate, has proposed several other wildfire-related bills this year, including one that would call on authorities to respond to wildfires on federal lands within 30 minutes, and another that would allow the Defense Department to resell aircraft and parts for firefighting purposes. At McDonald Pass, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
On Memorial Day Monday, communities came together to pay tribute and honor the brave through ceremonies and heartfelt gatherings. The day began with a ceremony at Riverside Cemetery with taps, the color guard, and a placing of a wreath. Then nearly 400 people came together at Yellowstone National Cemetery to honor those who lost their lives in service. Montana Senator Steve Daines and Representative Troy Downing spoke at the event while veterans reflected on yesterday's meaning.
Freedom is at stake, and freedom is most certainly not free, and it requires the blood of patriot.
Dealer Park visitors can also still visit the new interactive memorial unveiled over the weekend. The monument showcases 49 Montana soldiers who died in combat since the Vietnam War and is the first of its kind in the country.